anti-Semites. I wouldn't say the guy's Christian. I would just say he's an anti-Semite.
But is that in the Talmud that you know of?
No. Did you see what I posted?
You just posted a link to my blog and.
No. I posted.
Oh, to your book on Talmud.
It's not my book. It's on my website. My ex-Kala, my ex-fiance. Whatever. A situation came up where some anti-Semite on MySpace was taking all, presenting like spewed a whole bunch of garbage about the Talmud and like some of the more common misconceptions, not misconceptions, when they take them out of context. Myths. And then the anti-Semites run with these things, and they've all been debunked. And what she did was she compiled and she just answered up the ones that, and I put it on my website for, it's right there, and all of these things can be debunked. It's all bullshit. And what really bothered me was when I was reading through it, I was like, why is Lady making me read this garbage? I couldn't even read it all. It was grotesque. The guy goes, and they try to debunk this stuff, but we know that they failed at it. And I'm like, what? So apparently they know more about what our Talmud says, right? They're the arbiters of truth of what our Talmud says than we know, and we study it all the time. So, okay, so right there tells you just tune these guys out. Why you waste your time reading that stuff?
I was curious. It just popped up on my Facebook, and so I checked it out.
Oh, okay.
So, when I am offered something for free, I almost always take it, or often I take it. But when Abraham is looking for a burial plot for Sarah, he prefers to pay. And
you know why?
Well, I've got a thought.
Okay, go ahead.
Also, Abraham says no to the spoils of war in the previous Pasha, and Abraham prefers to pay because if you're just given a lot, that doesn't have a lot of legal standing in the ancient world. So he acquires the lot by paying out good money. That makes the ownership of the land much more secure.
It's more of a binding contract. I don't know how to say it. A transaction. Yeah. It's a binding transaction. That's the first piece of property. That's the first part of Eretz Israel, the Holy Land, that we purchased.
Yeah. That
was the very first time that was purchased. That's ours.
So the Hittites look really good in the Abraham story because they're like, oh, my master Abraham, just go ahead and have the land. Just take this burial plot, and Abraham insists on paying, but the Torah is not like. Torah doesn't play favorites. Non-Jews often look really good in the Torah.
Wait a second.
And Jews often look bad. So the Torah doesn't play favorites. Go ahead.
It wasn't that they were making him a sweet deal. He was actually owed it.
Why?
I have to look it up.
Actually, it doesn't matter.
I'd have to look it up, but they had already owed him it was. He didn't even have to offer them anything. They owed him that as part of something that had happened prior. I have to look it up.
Okay, so.
But there is a rule, by the way, that as a general rule, that Torah makes bad people look good and good people look bad. That's how the written Torah, right? The Tanakh, on its own, without commentaries, you would think that the most righteous people are evil and the most evil people are righteous. So there is what you're saying is true. It's just in that particular case, I remember there was a thing that they owed him, and I don't remember the details.
So there's an ArtScroll commentary calls the chief Hittite here the BHIC, the big Hittite in charge.
That's what they called him.
HHIC, the head Hittite in charge.
He's
HHIC. That's what they called him.
He was the Shittite, if you will. He was the Shittite.
Calls him transparently greedy. So, ArtScroll commentary says he was trying to run some game on Abraham.
Oh, really?
I dig. There's a quote here from the ArtScroll about Abraham. Abraham expressed the dual role that every Jew must play. On the one hand, he is a resident of his country. As such, he must work and pray for its welfare, as Jeremiah urged his people on the threshold of exile. On the other hand, the Jew in this world is always an alien, for his allegiance is to God, and his goals are set forth by the Torah. The Jew must always be ready to be a lonely alien, resisting the culture that surrounds him and maintaining his unique responsibility. And this is a thought they attribute to Rabbi Yosef Dov Soloveitchik. It's interesting, ArtScroll would not have incorporated anything from J.B. Soloveitchik except for the Stone family, which underwrote this ArtScroll Chumash, insisted that they include some stuff from J.B. Soloveitchik. So there you go. So J.B. Soloveitchik's on the modern end of Orthodoxy, and he's not regarded seriously in the traditional Orthodox world. So modern Orthodox call J.B. Soloveitchik the Rav, and traditional Orthodox usually call him J.B.
I like the Stone edition. I actually recommend that to beginners.
So
and they got informative charts and stuff in the back. You ever check those out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when I converted, they required me to get this.
Oh, see, we're on
week,
the same page. We're on the same page.
So Abraham's wealth helps get Rebekah for Isaac. So Abraham sends his servant out, and he meets Rebekah at the well. Before he gives Rebekah any test, like say, could you give me something to drink? He first chooses her because she's hot. So before he knew anything about her character, he chose her as the one to test, because she was hot. So
that's not why he chose
her. Okay,
her.
I'll finish the point, then you can debunk it.
Okay.
So, folks, when you're out there and you're looking for a shidduch, it's okay to choose a hot one and then check out her character. So it's totally okay. First you check out her body, then you check out her character. Don't beat yourself up if you do that. Don't hate on yourself, and you don't have to run to confession. And then Rebekah, after watering Isaac's servant and the 10 camels, takes him back to her brother Laban's house, and it talks about how the servant gives Rebekah these 10 laden camels filled with gifts. So, folks, you want to get married? Get 10 camels laden with gifts. It helps to have a lot of money. That's how you get the bitches. Go ahead.
With the bling.
The bling. You got to get the bling before you get the bitch.
Because yeah, it's like when I'm trying to make a move on a bitch, you know what I do?
Yeah.
I bring
flash the bling.
I flash the camels, man.
Yeah.
Bring out the camels.
Bring out the camels. Bring them out.
All right. So here's what's really going on.
Yeah.
Eliezer was sent there specifically for Rivka. Okay. It wasn't like they're just going to take I'm going to start checking out the hotties, right? He's sent there to pick up this woman, this specific woman.
Uh-huh.
And he just wanted to make sure that was her. Because he didn't know. It's like they didn't have he didn't download her JPEG.
Yeah.
They didn't go to her Facebook, right, and download all her photos, right? He's walking around, with he's got even worse. He's got his iPhone, right? And he's working it, and he's got a big picture of her, and he's like, okay, that's her, right? It doesn't work like that, right?
Right.
So they don't even. He doesn't know what he never seen her before, right? He's like, go get Rivka. So he goes over there, and he's like, well, how am I going to know? And he's going to go, because she's going to be the holiest person in the town.
Yeah.
Okay, it even says that she was the only person she was the only virgin in the town. Do you know that?
No.
Okay, Rashi brings that down. That she was the only virgin in town. Now you have to understand that he also says that she was 3 years old. So you have to think of how grotesque this town is.
How could she water 10 camels being 3 years old?
Well, she was one thing at a time.
Okay.
You have to think of how grotesque and depraved and morally depraved this town is, that to find a virgin, you have to go down to a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Then anything older than 3 is probably, she's already done it.
Yeah.
Right? Which, I'll tell you the truth. When I first learned that, 30 years ago or so,
yeah,
I was like, whoa, that's a really bad society. But you know what? If you watch